Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, and this is Lawrence Kazan Cassini in South Florida. I'm very honored to be with you today. Thanks for attending. I have, as usual, my little mantra, and more than anything, today is an example of why this little mantra is important. The slaughterhouse of failure is not in my destiny. I will persist until I succeed. Og Mandino. You know, every Friday I say this little thing, and I joke about having it tattooed on here so that when we look in the mirror, we will remember that every time we think about anything other than success. And today, actually, that's why I invited Vincent on, because this is one of those stories where this applies particularly like a ring on a finger. As usual, the three questions to ask everybody that is important, that are important is, who are you? How well do you know yourself? And what do you want? So here we've got now, we've got today, mindset. It's always about mindset for me. So the two things between mindset are, for example, what's the difference between inspiration and motivation? What's the difference between positivity and optimism? There's a huge difference in each one. Not huge. There is a huge difference, but you've got to find the subtle point between inspiration and motivation. Somebody can be motivated, but if he's not inspired, that's something else. You can be positive, but unless you're optimistic, you're not going to do it. So here we've got, and this is something that we could, look into in depth. But right now, I would like to introduce to you somebody who got, who's an optometrist. He got his scanner in March. In March 2000, June 2019. He became an executive very quickly because obviously as an optometrist, he had a sphere of influence. And then he started to have paralysis by analysis. He needed to know every detail about everything there was. And every time somebody asked a question, he took it as a whoops, maybe I'm in the wrong thing. Whoops, maybe I'm not sure of what I'm doing. So, and I would like to go through his journey, because this is a typical journey of a lot of people who have self-doubt, who have always questioning if they're doing the right thing. They're perfectionist. In many ways, they're perfectionist. They want to do the right thing. They never want let anybody down. They want to make sure 1000%. And in that journey of perfection come all of these doubts, and then come the backing off of taking action. So I'd like to introduce Vincent Uy. He's in California. He's an optometrist, as I mentioned. And Vincent, good morning.
Good morning, Lawrence. Thank you. Thanks for inviting me here.
Well, thank you, because I'm going to make it a little painful, but it's important because it's through this type of journey where everybody can learn that we're not alone. We all are humans, and we all have a similar journey. Some of us have different questions. Some of us have different doubts, but I'd like to get into yours. So tell us a little bit. You got your scanner, and then what happened?
Yeah, so I got the scanner, and then I started on the supplement, right, the Lifepak Nano, because I want to make sure that the product does work and it does raise my score. So in the beginning, I didn't really go out and talk and, just share with people because I have that doubt still. And then I think in about a month, I see my score went up, right? From 30, it was exactly 30,000 when I started. And then I think a month later, it came to like 35,000, somewhere around there. I don't
Okay.
remember that, but
All
the
right.
score did,
So, okay.
yeah. And then back then too, I was kind of shy, so I was hesitant to talk to people. And what I'm afraid is that, what if people reject me, and also that, the business involved network marketing. So I want to talk to people, but I got held back. And then I talked to some people. But then what started this journey was the LinkedIn part of it, because I reached out to people. That's pretty much what really started the business. It's not really the people that I talk in person, but that just proved that this business does work, and my next thing is to make sure that the product does work.
So Vincent, let's back up a little bit.
Mm.
You were very afraid of or concerned about fear of rejection, what your friends would think of you. Is that right?
Correct. And also I want to make sure that the product does what it claimed it's supposed to do. So, I talked to people who are in it. I talked to one guy in up north of California. He did this um, Pharmanex as well, and then I think he said he enrolled 8 doctors, but they all dropped out in the end, right? But he said the product is good, and he's still taking it. So I said the product is good, but then my question is like, why is it that the people who sign up, they end up not doing well? So I'm just trying to like analyze too, what's the good and what's the bad. So I was signing up, but then I wasn't really sure that this thing is something that sustain itself. So I just talked to different people. Is it the business? Is it just people not trained right? And I see Andy's doing good and other people were doing good. So I want to meet more people who have positive experience. That's the reason why it kind of put me in the middle, like on a fence. So I wasn't really 100% in. And then along the process, I started, I mean, talking to people, and then some of them are high ranked professional, like professor and all that. And then it showed me one side. And then, of course, there's some other faculty member who are on the other side. Like some people, I said, they don't have enough evidence and all that. But then there are other people who said, okay, there's plenty of research, and faculty members. Say, for example, the ones in optometry, one of the lecturer was Paul Kopecky, right? So he lectured on that. And then another guy was Jerome Sherman, which is the OD PhD guy. So instead of like looking at the positive side, I kind of want to learn more about it. That's why I was hesitant. And then the product itself, I was researching. One was the beta carotene, right? It's the precursor to vitamin A. From what I read, is that for some people who smoke, if they take beta carotene, is that they can lead to cancer. So it's all this concern that if I go into the business, if I recommend the product, what if somebody happen to be like a long-term smoker? What if they have negative consequence from that? So it's just like worry. But then later on, I did some research. It said actually the beta carotene that um, can hurt smoker are the synthetic one, and now I know that the natural one are good. So they're not gonna the smokers are not gonna run into that issue. but then part of it too is, about network marketing. I was just,
Hold on. So hold on. So you found that the beta carotene, that the vitamin A in the products that we have in Pharmanex are natural, correct?
yeah,
So
yes,
that actually cleared your mind. So you were having paralysis by analysis, in fact. And so
right.
you're a very analytical person and a perfectionist, like I said.
Yeah.
So okay, so go ahead. You were then talking. You also talked. I think you said you had another few doubts, several. One of them was gout, for example. What was happening there?
Yeah, so with gout, when I talk, see, because the thing is, when I talk to the person that I scan, right, he said he has gout, and then he flare up when he eat different food, right? Um, but he's willing to try the supplement, so I recommended the Lifepak, right? I talked to Andy. He said, probably it's not good to take the Omega because that one, can flare up gout, right? But we could just recommend the Lifepak, the regular Lifepak, not the Nano. The one without um
The fish oil.
that Omega. Yeah. So I was in Shu, and then I call up New Skin, and then one of the support talked to me about it, and then it turned out his dad also has gout, right? And I think when he take the Lifepak, he flare up, so I'm sure different gout has different you know reaction to different food as well, right? Because each of us is different. So I just talked to the that guy that was gonna order the supplement, and I asked him, if that's the case, why don't you talk to your doctor? And he said if he were to take advice from his doctor would say don't take any other supplement
Right.
without.
So
Yes, so I
so
decided.
so Vincent, so you've had a lot of, and I know on many of the calls that we've had,
Yes.
some of the uh, most prolific questions or barrage of questions about everything have come from your part, because you wanted to absolutely leave no stone unturned. So you've gone through all this very, very intense questioning of products, of the company, of the authenticity of the company, authenticity of the products. And it's now June, and you started in March last year, so it's over a year that you've been, you became a brand rep, an executive, and then you dropped off, and you then lost kind of confidence. So tell me a little bit about, or tell us a little bit about how your mind has changed, what happened, what made you start to believe that this is real, that this is a really, really good business, and that you can now, where are you now?
Well, my now, as far as my thought of the business and where I want to go.
And what made you change from where your uncertainties and uh, your stagnated mindset in the business before? What made you
Oh,
change?
well, first of all, with the product, I believe the good product, and then it doesn't matter what product it is. Sometimes you talk to different experts, they have different opinion, right? Even supplement itself, you talk to two different doctors. One say, okay, supplements are good. The other one, they don't believe in it. So you just have to go with what you believe is good and will help people. You go for it, and then down the line, it will always certain people who have very in belief in position, right? So I really like the fact that supplement nutrition are a big part of health, right? Because I don't like taking medicine, and through my experience, when I own my practice, I see a lot of people, and then I see that the one who take a lot of medicine are the one who tend to be sick, right? Or
Okay.
the one who age very fast. So now I say, okay, I either go for it or I don't. And if I do it, I have to go straight, right? I can't be like flip flopping.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So at a certain moment, then you understood that this is something you want to do.
Yeah.
And so tell me about your recruiting, what your experience on recruiting and what happened there. You know, you mentioned something about uh, some people, the way they recruit, um, or the way you would like to recruit, or just tell us a little bit about the recruiting.
So here's the thing, when I attend this the webinar and the teaching, I only hear the good thing about it, right? Okay, how successful each person is, and all the good testimonial. And to me, I don't want to just be in that enclosed thing where I hear all the good thing. I want to actually go out there and hear what people say, right? And one of the group that I joined is this group of optometrists on Facebook. Right now, there are over 40,000 members there. At least half of them are optometrists, and then the other are people in the healthcare field, right? So I asked them, and then I don't hear too many positive things. I hear it's like pressure self tactic and all that. So my goal to approach them is I want to introduce this Pharmanex, program, right? The scanner and how it can help the practice. So now I come to realize that, it's just that certain people, they might not be approached well. I don't know if they're in our team. Like one guy I want to ask, who is it that recruited him? So I kind of know, I'm not gonna go like spread around anything negative, but I kind of have an idea. Okay, how do they approach? So I know when I approach them, I'm not gonna like pressure sell them, right? Because to me, it's like, when it comes to sell, there's certain people are just successful, but at the same time, they use the pressure tactic, right? And then, of course, they're going to have a group that's successful, but then they're the other one that have negative experience. And then, it makes it hard for me. So again, I'm not a salesperson, and I want to approach it in a way that it's diplomatic. And with, network marketing, you always hear people trying to like um, recruit friends and family members, and they're taking the aggressive approach. And then the next thing is like they offended everybody, right? They may be successful in a certain group that they're with, but at the same time, they're not happy with their life because they lose friends and they lose family. And then I don't want to be that kind of person, right? So my thing is that, okay, what approach can I take that I will be in good relationship with people that I'm around with, and then also with the people who's helping me, of course, the Farmnext group. So it's always that self-analysis, like you said, analysis by paralysis. Um, you know, from the product, you know, are the products good? And then the way I approach people, I present the product, am I doing the right way? And so far, with the teaching is that I haven't been taught, oh, make sure when you approach this person, don't say this, don't do this, so you don't get offend them. It's like, how can you do to recruit, right? To me, I always want to recruit, but I don't want to like to offend any people, because I always feel that relationship is important, and of course, and I want to make sure that it's in the best interest of the other person, right? So say for example, like the person I recruited, her name is Patricia, one of my downline. She went into in Utah, and then you know, everything was good. She got the machine, and then afterwards she talked to, I guess, a couple of doctors, and then because it's network marketing, and then she got the experience from it, and now she's not even doing anything. And then I
Okay.
kind of feel bad because, you
Okay.
know, yeah,
So Vincent,
yeah,
let me mention this.
yeah,
So, you know, obviously the people that even you,
yeah,
with your doubts and
yeah,
with Patricia's doubts,
yeah,
unless you, like you, it's taken you over a year
yeah.
to over. Are your doubts all gone now? Yes or no?
Yeah, it's all gone. So,
Okay.
so my thing, what my point is this: it's not about just recruiting, but now that I take more active approach, is that, you know, I want to reach out to the people that I recruited. Whatever they did wrong is, you know, maybe you can help them. Okay, what's the reason why they're not succeeding? And the mindset is important, because I think a big part of it is the stigma behind network marketing, right? It
Okay.
just
Oh,
it just
okay.
it just
Let me just
yeah.
take
Go
a
ahead.
time out with this.
Yeah, sorry.
This network marketing, you know,
Yeah,
this is something that we overreact,
yeah,
because the whole point of this business is to be
yeah,
able to solve or help or contribute to solving a doctor's problem with his time and his
yeah,
money.
yeah,
So you've got a practice,
yeah,
and if we can show you as a practice, as a doctor, we
yeah.
can show you how to add income to your practice,
Mm,
and also in using very, very little time, not even by you, mainly by
yeah,
your staff,
mm,
then that is the objective, period,
yeah.
to start with.
All right.
Once you've got a doctor that is actually seeing this, he's got it in his stride, he knows the products are working, he's got his scanner working, the patients are coming in. Of course, you'll always have one or two that will have some kind of complaint or some kind of, you know, some kind of issue, but generally the point is to get the doctor
Mm,
or the healthcare professional
mm.
to be effective and to be successful using the scanner. That's the principal point.
Yeah,
As a consequence of that, it is then when sometime the doctor's out for dinner somewhere and everybody's complaining about insurance and reimbursements and electronic records and so on. And the doctor who's got the scanner says, I got this little device, which it's all a cash business, and it brought me in an extra $70,000 a year for, you know, for about 20 minutes work a day, 40 minutes work a day. And then they'll say, oh, how's that? And then the people will come and ask you about the scanner. It's not about going out to actively recruit unless you're a salesperson, unless you've got a passion for sales, unless you've got, you know, initially you're a professional, you've got a scanner, you've got your clinic, and the idea is for you to be successful. And then when you're sure of what you're doing and you've got the confidence of everything,
mm.
then of course approach some people, approach some other
But
professionals.
yeah, so Lawrence, going back, my point is that, you know, for the people that sign up under me, and even some of the doctor too, I want to reach out to them and find out why and how we can help them so they succeed. Because otherwise, you know, you bring them in and then they don't succeed and then they quit. What's gonna happen? They're gonna tell all their colleagues, say, "Oh, don't go for the machine." And I remember when I was in practice, okay, people buy glasses, right? They're not happy and they're whining. The rule is this: just refund them back the money and make them happy. And some of them are hard patient, right? They're whiner, they're complainer, they're picky, and the people just like to harass the doctor at the office. Will make them happy. But in this industry, we can't do that. I mean, let's say if I were to like bring somebody in, they're not happy, and then if I take the approach of, okay, you already signed up for it, and then if it doesn't work, then that's fine. But those are the negative consequence that can impact like
Yeah. So,
all
so
these things, right?
Vincent, so
Yeah,
Vincent, the whole thing about this, when you went to Utah,
yeah,
what was you, did you see something that you know, you could see was
yeah.
real?
So you know what? When I went there, it was real. I tell you my experience, and then it involved, you know, my relationship to everybody too, and then you know I felt the good side to it is that it's real. As a matter of fact, you know, from what I hear is that there's gonna be video, and then people will rewatch the video, and I was into it. I want to watch the video from June, right? And then I emailed Scott Bennett, said, Scott, you know, is the video ready yet? I want to watch. And then I got no response. And then I I private message Wes, right? I say, Wes, you know what? Are the video, you know, are they ready yet? And I know he got my message, but then there's no response. I even messaged you,
Okay,
said,
but you got stuck on one thing.
so the point I'm trying to make is that I want to do it, but I kind of felt like, you know, that is that maybe, you know, the group doesn't want me to get the information or something. That's not true. It's just something I made up
All right.
in my
Let's
mind.
let's all right. So you had all of these obstacles and obstacle
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
You
So
had
the point is not anybody. It's just I
no, no.
rely on other people to
All right.
really learn. You
So
know, I'm not doing it on my own.
okay. So now, what changed your mind? Because just recently you
Yeah,
texted me, and that's what caught my attention. I'll find the text, but you texted me about the fact that you don't know why people don't see it. So you've now finally seen it. You've gone through all of this dark tunnel of
yeah.
confusion and mental constipation and all kinds of other things. So now you finally
I
found
give you a headache.
the light. So tell me now, where are you now? For example, you told me something about
Well, the
Matt
point is that
Morris.
I started number one doubting and investigating. Number two is like whatever happened was kind of whining too. It's
Yes,
like I'm
yes,
not
you were
really
whining.
taking the approach that I need to do like what I want, and then do I believe in it? And if I believe in it, do it without trying to rely on other people, right? Say for instance, in the beginning, when I started, Andy was I think he has more time, right? And then later on, I guess he's a little bit busy, so I kind of felt like even some of the people I set up appointment, and then later on he couldn't make it, and then eventually like the person went somewhere else. But then, you know, part of it too is that I was relying on him, right, instead of learning on my
See,
own.
the
And
thing, instead of relying on yourself,
exactly,
listen.
exactly.
So, Vincent, okay, so all of these things, you know, this is the
Yeah,
usual. A lot of times people
yeah,
rely on other people to do certain things for us. That,
exactly.
that is a position of weakness. That is
Yeah,
not an entrepreneurial
correct.
skill. I mean,
That's my point.
an
Yeah,
entrepreneurial position. That is where you have a job and it's easy to blame somebody else and we blame
correct.
everybody about everything, the products, the company, and all the rest of it. But finally, there's a breakthrough in the mind. And all we've done now is gone through all of your dark area period,
Yeah,
and you then came up with Matt Morris. That was something that changed your mind. But that, where are you today? How are you positive today? Because you've understood that it's not about, you know, blaming other people and finding shortfalls and finding excuses, because we live in that era. We love
yeah,
that. We love.
yeah.
It's much easier to blame somebody else than it is
Exactly.
to take our own reins, our own steering wheel in our own hands.
Yeah, so it's just being immature, you know, and of course doubting the business model, right? So now the way I look at it is not the business model, but it's the approach. The one who are successful are the one who approach it in a way that they do well, and at the same time they're serving people. Whereas the ones who didn't do well are the one who just go out there and just trying to push everybody into the business or the product, right? And for me, I mean, I have very little experience in sales, and then even when it comes to network marketing, I was kind of doubt. And then there are people along the way who try to help me. Greg Waller tried to help me too, and then I thought I got my mind all set, right? I said, okay, now I truly believe it and I understand it, but still along the way, it's like it kind of waver. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
now it comes to this point. Hey, I spent enough time, and then I studied and I researched enough. Now it's for me to decide. If I want to go in it,
No,
and
no,
no
you've
one.
decided. No,
Yeah,
but that's
that,
okay. So you decided that. I think that I understood that you had decided that, and that's why you started to recruit. That's why you started to get people on the phone with, to
right,
do
right.
three-way calls.
Yeah.
So you actually said you said something when I was talking to you,
Mhm.
that what made you change your mind was hearing something from somebody else again, which was Matt Morris. So you're
Yeah.
easily influenced in the negative side because you're always looking for some kind of um, an excuse to kind of fumble. So Matt Morris, you said network marketing, having fun and helping people. So you now talking, when we spoke, you were saying now it's about having fun and actually doing a business that you enjoy, that you can that you've got the backing for it.
Yeah. So I watch different videos. YouTube has so many people teaching um, the business, right, how to approach, and it seems like a lot of them teach the same thing, but then I think a part of it, it's just personality too. Each of us are more attracted to certain personalities, right? So the way you approach it is that take it seriously but have
Yeah.
fun along the way, and then don't care too much whether people reject you or not. And I heard that so many times. Just go for no, and people reject you, so what? It's pretty much what you've been teaching, and I'm sure Stephen Moore and other people, Wes and John Whittaker. I listened to some of the stuff on SoundCloud, with Wendy and Ken. So it's the same message, but then finally it kind of resonates. Is that you do it and you have fun, right? And then what he said is that even when you talk to people, say, okay, you have fun doing it. And I thought about it. What's so hard about it? It should be fun, right? If it's not fun, then then what else can be more fun? So now I feel that when I talk to people, it's easier because I don't take it seriously, and then I don't take it as, okay, if I talk to people, they're gonna sign up. Like, it's just more like you said, or Stephen Moore said, sifting and sorting. So it's the same process, but just the mindset of doing it is you're having fun along the way.
Okay, so one last thing, because you actually said, and I wrote it down.
Yeah.
You said um, struggle during the year, and I now realize it is having fun and talk to people. That's the mindset. It is
Yeah.
action time. No matter
Yeah.
what you learn, no matter what you read, without
Yeah.
action, you're going nowhere. So
Yeah.
the reason I wanted you to come on today, we're out of
Yeah.
time, Vincent, we're out of time. So I
Sure.
just wanted I wanted actually, because you've gone through all of this, we've heard all of this really dark stuff that you've gone through, and excuses and
Yeah.
blaming people, and this didn't happen and that didn't happen. And eventually, the old saying that for every finger you point out, there are three pointing at you.
Yeah.
Finger, and they're 3 point. So this is a lesson of personal growth for you. So this is a lesson where you now have all of the ammunition to be successful. You've got masters all around you that are successful. You've got a lot of people. You've got a company that's amazing. So finally, I understood when you sent that little message to me that you're saying, why can't people see it? So that for me is a breakthrough. So you've now got to focus on the light. And that is the difference between what I was saying at the beginning of the difference between motivation and inspiration. So now that's where we've got. So we're out of time, Vincent. I want to thank everybody. I don't know if you've got one last like 30 seconds to say anything else you want about where you are. Or...
Well, it's common sense. I mean, whatever you want, you gotta do it, right? You gotta take action. But then again, sometimes when you hear it from certain people, it just rings. It just rings better, right? I mean, if you think about it, it's just basic, right? So it's come to a point that, hey, I gotta take action. I gotta do more than just think and analyze, because I've been doing enough of it already. And then when you come out to say, okay, you're ready to support whoever I have that want to get into the business, you can do a three-way call, and I'm for it. And I thank you for it.
So the only people that you should listen to are the ones that are going to help you put bread on your table.
Yeah.
The rest are just theoretical opinions. Vincent, thanks for coming on today. Thanks, everybody. I'm sorry we've gone a couple of minutes over. Thanks, everybody. The intention was to walk through this person or help this person's life that is over analytical, a perfectionist, and his journey through the minds of all the problems. And anyway, so I think this is something that I just wanted to go through, because a lot of people do go through these uncertainties, and we finally see the light, and hopefully this is one that will work for Vincent as well. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for being on.